The obstacle is the opportunity. Why are opportunities obstacles? If opportunities are a distraction, especially for entrepreneurs or mostly ADHD, then we have to say, well, the obstacle is forcing you to say, do I want to do this? I always know this about myself. The times in which I'm the most bored out of my mind is a time in which I have the best ideas. It's also a time when I'm like, you know what? These 4 people that work for me are amazing. These 2, not so much. I always warn my team, when I go on vacation, somebody will be fired. Almost always. Here's the reason why.
I want to make $120,000 as a graphic designer.
Okay, I'll teach you this. It's so easy. If you are skilled in what you do, you've trained, you practice your 10,000 hours, you're a good person, I can teach you how to make $1 million. 120 is easy. When you sell this, they will buy it nonstop. You ready? Sell money. Sell money. Hey everyone, before we get on with the video, I have a quick mention about today's sponsor, Gusto. As you know, one of the keys to growing your business lies in your ability to attract and hire good talent. That's a big stress point for most people in your shoes. And I have good news that will help alleviate some of the pain. If you want to build a team but are new to hiring people, I've got a free downloadable guide to help you get started. It's built by us and our friends at Gusto. To help you get started, Gusto is offering our audience their service for free for the first 3 months. Check the link in the description. Andres, who's first? Alex?
I'm lost with where to take the future of my brand design studio. What would your advice be to gain clarity? Yeah, I'm just very confused and I don't think I'm knowledgeable enough on it.
Okay.
Because I have a degree in graphic design, not business.
You have a degree in graphic design?
Correct.
Same. I don't doubt myself in business.
Okay, teach me.
You have doubts about this solo career as a graphic designer because you haven't achieved what it is that you want to achieve. If you achieve what you wanted to achieve, you wouldn't have any doubt, right? Mm-hmm. How old are you-ish?
28.
Okay, perfect. So far, so good. You're just knocking them out of the park. How much money did you think you were supposed to be making at this point in time?
$120K.
Perfect. So at the end of 2024, you thought, I'd like to be at 120K, okay? And if you hit that number, would you be doubting if you made the right decision to be a solopreneur and pursuing graphic design? So we have doubt because we haven't achieved the goal in the timeline we've set for ourselves. Now here's the really important question I'm going to ask you, okay? End of this year will be year 3, right? Mm-hmm. Let's just assume. We're starting in January. Year 1, what did you do?
70.
70?
Yep.
Well, that's pretty good. Out of the gate, you're doing great.
Thanks.
I'm going to assume year 2 didn't go so well?
No.
God dang it, how do I know these things? Everybody thinks entrepreneurship, I get to be the boss, I don't have to work, I just call the shots, and I get to pick what I want to do, and I just make money over money over money. And I'm rich and famous now. Entrepreneurship is an ugly, long battle. But it's a disease, I think. It's not a choice. You can't get rid of it. There's no cure.
Yeah.
I cannot work for anybody. I already know this about myself. There's not enough money you can pay me for me to work for you. Because if I'm busy building your dream, who's building mine? Nobody. And I'm a dream builder. And I like my dream more than yours. I like yours, but I like mine more. It doesn't matter what it is you want, weight gain or fitness level or whatever it is. If you're not moving in the right trajectory, you're going to question yourself. But I think this is great freaking news. I'll tell you why. Because the people who don't have the disease, they quit. And I don't want so much competition. I want, not you to break. Because you had a good time one time. I'm in it for the long haul. I'm going on year 30 right now. Okay, and we've had the ups and downs. The obstacle is the opportunity. Why are opportunities obstacles? Because, would you like to work on NFTs? Those are called opportunities. In my world, they're called distractions. They take you away from your primary goal, which is to run a successful graphic design business, making $120K for you and yours. If opportunities are a distraction, especially for entrepreneurs who are mostly ADHD, then we have to say, the obstacle is forcing you to say, do I want to do this? And it's not for everybody. It's okay if you quit. I appreciate if you quit most of the time. But I'm here for those that do not want to quit. They got that fight, and I'm ready. There's a line in the movie Desperate Measures, and Michael Keaton is like the crazy convicted felon. He crawls through a tunnel of poo to get out of prison, and he goes, do you know how dedicated I am? Andy Garcia says, and he goes, you don't know nothing about dedication. Do you know where you end and I begin? And that line stuck with me. Entrepreneurship is this disease that's an obsession. It's like you're addicted to it, and you have to do it. There's nothing else for you to do. I want you to finish this phrase for me, okay? I'm down 20,000 or percentage. How might being down 30% of revenue be a benefit to you?
Maybe reassess your clientele and reassess your
Okay.
overall strategy for the business.
Can you hear that? It's a moment for reflection. Do I want to do this? Do I want to switch gears? Do you guys know who Jim Rohn is? Jim Rohn, you may not know, but he wrote this book called 7 Strategies for Wealth and Happiness. So Jim talks about seasons, okay? So there's like 4 seasons, but there's the one that we're in. It's called the winter season. The thing is, when we were living in a simpler life, when we didn't have all the modern amenities, winter was a harsh time. We worked all year long to store food and prepare for winter. So winter is a time for family, for reflection, for rest, and to think. And then, spring comes along and we get to do the whole process again. It could be that you're just in the winter of your life. You're in this season. But what you're trying to do, many of you, is you drive yourself crazy thinking it's spring. It's time to plant and harvest. This is time to rest, to reflect, recover, and spend this free time to be grateful. I always know this about myself. The times in which I'm the most bored out of my mind is a time in which I have the best ideas. It's also a time when I'm like, you know what? These 4 people that work for me are amazing. These 2, not so much. I always warn my team, when I go on vacation, somebody will be fired. Almost always. Here's the reason why. You have a relationship with somebody, right? And you know what? We don't love them, but we're familiar with them, and it's a habit. And we tell ourselves, if I fire this person, I have to find someone to replace them. What a pain in the butt. What if they're worse than the person I have right now? And you go through all this. Yeah, they're not that bad. So you stick with them for a really long time. It's that relationship, that familiarity, that habit of seeing them, even if you don't love them, you see them and it's all right. That's why many of you in relationships, like with your partner, it's not ideal. I'm not trying to break up your partnership, but you need to get apart. You really do. Because somebody else is better for you and you're better for someone else. What happens is when I go on vacation, I'm thinking of it much more objectively now. Like, oh my gosh, I could replace you right now. And I'd rather deal with the pain of replacing you than to stay with you. And these other 4 people who do an amazing job, I need to take better care of them. Now, what do you need from me? Are we good?
I want to make $120,000 as a graphic designer.
Yeah. Okay. I'll teach you this. It's so easy. If you are skilled in what you do, you've trained, you've practiced, you're 10,000 hours, you're a good person, I can teach you how to make $1 million. 120 is easy. I'll do all the math for you right now, okay? Here we go. All we have to do is we have to take this number and divide it by 10.
12.
Thank you. Still smart. 12K. We need to earn this per month, okay? But Chris, why isn't it divided by 12? Because I want to give you 2 months off. It's important. We have to design our business to be long-term sustainable. We divide it by 10. It's easy. Also because it's designer math. Divide by 12, your brain breaks. Divide by 10, you just move the decimal around. Okay? $12,000 a month. The next question is kind of critical. How many active clients or projects do you want to do per month?
3.
That's a good number. It's not that hard. I'm going to service 3 clients or 3 projects every single month. So we divide that by number of projects you want to do or clients, okay? So we're going to divide that by 3, which is how much, Alex?
4.
See, her brain is 404 page error load. Okay, it is 4K. So that means you have to find something that you can do that someone will find great joy in to give you their money such that you could do for them. It could be 40K. It could be 400K. I don't care what the number is. What kind of thing can you do for someone who it would be joyful for them to give you 4K every single month? Who here sells visual identity for more than 4K and where their clients are super happy?
Yeah, so I do it at 5K.
For what?
Restaurants.
So restaurants, right? How much money do they do annually? Do you know?
I'm not sure about that. I didn't ask.
You don't ask your clients how much money you make? Why is it designers never care about the impact that the work makes? They just make it up in their mind. Kevin, one thing you need to add to your conversation with the client is to have what I call the 2 B's. The first B is called a baseline. Where are we today? How many followers? How much revenue? How many customers? What's the churn rate? How many unsatisfied customers do we have? Well, how many positive Yelp reviews do we have? Find the baseline. The thing that we want to change or affect with our work. We have to have a baseline. What is the second B? It's benchmark. Where would we like to be? The delta between those 2 determines how good you are. If they go from 1,000 followers to 2,000 followers, that's a 2x change. But if they wanted 4,000 followers, you're 50% of the goal. The restaurant, you need to know what it is that you're improving. Like say, for example, they have 80 customers per every so many hours, and because the menu you design gets people in and out faster, because it's not Cheesecake Factory, you've helped them make that much more money because the menu improved. We love to claim success for things. When things don't work, we're like, we got nothing to do with that. You notice that weird relationship we have? Why don't you actually actively work on it and have a real conversation about it? Design matters, but not when you don't mind what matters. What's measured improves.
Before we get on with the video, I have a quick real life story I want to share. Some of you may know this story. It's about a friend of mine. His name is Aaron. And he had been working as a solopreneur, as a designer, running his own boutique studio. I would often ask him why he never hired anyone. And his response, since he grew up in a very rural part of Montana, he didn't even have indoor plumbing for a large portion of his life, was, I just enjoy doing the work myself. And he would often justify to me that if he wasn't doing this, what else would he be doing? So why not do all the production work? Why not answer all the calls and put together the bids along with doing all the design work? And the other part to it was he had this limiting belief about if he didn't want to do the grunt work, who else would want to do it? Now, I tried my best to tell him about the virtues of delegating, giving others the opportunity he once had while working as an employee himself, and what he could do with his free time if he was able to offload it to someone else. Things like doing personal development or, get new clients, something like that. But he's a stubborn guy. I didn't admire that about him. So he persisted for many years and remained a solopreneur. Unfortunately, one day, through a series of unfortunate events, he lost most of his major clients and he hit a low point in his life and his business. He had to really rethink his whole business model. And I don't know what inspired him to, but eventually he gave it a shot and brought on a young junior designer straight out of school. That person, under his direction, grew rapidly. Then one person became two people, and two people became several people. I remember one day meeting up with him for lunch, and he was telling me about all the incredible work he had done. And it was impressive, for sure. And one of the things he was so delighted to tell me about was how he was doing the best work he had ever done while working less than he had ever before and made more money than he ever thought possible. Essentially, he was doing everything I tried to convince him to do just 10 years after the fact. So what's the lesson here? The quicker you can hire people, the quicker you can focus on your zone of genius, the work that only you can do. And then you can share your gift with the world. Gusto makes hiring easy, so don't forget to check the special link in the description. Now, back to our video.
You didn't measure it, it doesn't improve. What should you be selling? Go ahead.
Results.
Results. You're selling results. What kind of results are you selling? Here's what you should be selling. When you sell this, they will buy it nonstop. You ready? Sell money. Sell money. When you sell money, I buy. Speak to me in the language of business. How do we sell money? Talk about what matters. What's the baseline and benchmark? Until you can articulate that to me, I cannot work with you. How about that be a condition of us working together? Now, if you just said that one line, I would love to work with you under the condition that you can articulate to me the metric that matters to you, that'll have an impact on your business, and what goal you'd like to have. Otherwise, I cannot help you. Even if everything else you do is exactly the same, look how you position yourself against every other graphic designer out there, every other photographer, every other web developer. You want to sell money, so on the condition that you can articulate to me the metric that matters that's going to improve your business. And then you have to, according to the 4 agreements, be honest with them to serve them to say, that's a baseline or a benchmark I cannot do. Having a better visual identity, having a different website or headshots is not going to achieve that for you. What might is this other thing. I think you need to talk to Alex, Bobby, Mary, Kate, whoever. You got to talk to them. I'm not your person. But if you ever need this, I can do that. That's a real relationship. So if you find people here and you could do something that matters for them, they should be happy to give you the 4K. The problem here is every time you deliver on this 4K project, you got to go find another one of these and another one of these. It's tiring. How can we change this such that they give us money again and again and again, so that we only have to onboard 4 clients and we're done? So that's where we have to start thinking about our business model as a subscription-based business. And it's a radical concept, and I'll show you what it looks like, and it'll blow your mind. You have to do something where someone has an ongoing need for that result again. So the problem with visual identities is once it's done, it's kind of done. By design, it's supposed to be done for years, right? If you're good. That's what we promise people. I'll tell you something. I'll talk about my two friends, Drigo and Mo. Drigo and Mo, they shoot videos, right? They're in a very similar business model as you guys. When the video is done, they deliver a video, and guess what? They have to go find another client. Now, some clients have the need for ongoing video work. That starts to get into the subscription model, but there's a problem with this, okay? Most people do not see a direct connection from that to this. What they do is they look at this as an expense. It's expensive. Every time I hire you, why does it cost so much? Why do we have to pay for all these people? I don't need craft services. I don't need the second lens or the red camera, or just use your phone. The second problem to this, besides it being an expense, is it's expensive to make. You got to lug your gear around. You got to hire additional hands. Cameras break. Memory cards get lost. Hard drives, and all that's very expensive. Okay? So what they were doing is they were selling what they do, which is to make videos. It's why it's called production. You're selling production. So we need a new way of looking at it. Who needs video content done nonstop? Who has a never-ending, infinite appetite for video content?
You.
Alex? Who? What do I need?
Content creation.
Yeah, there's a shorter word for them. They're called creators. You work with creators, they want to make content because content equals what? Attention. And what do they do with attention? They trade it for what? Money. Back to money. So you want to sell money? Who's buying money? Creators. The worst part is editing. We know you can shoot a video for an hour. You can spend 17 hours editing that stupid thing. What you want to do is to sell pain relief, right? We have a headache. We take a pill. We have pain relief. The faster the pain relief comes, the more they will pay. This is the best part. You can hire others. It can be done anywhere, on any machine, by anybody. This is the best part. It can be done by anyone, anywhere, anytime, on any device. That means you have arbitrage now. You know what arbitrage is? Buy low, sell high. I can buy this for relatively not a lot of this, and I can sell it for what the market value is where I'm at. It's how people get rich. So instead of selling video production, which is what Drigo does, he sells the result, which is I need to make this pain of editing go away. He's selling money to people like me all day long. So what Drigo wants to sell is I'll take care of your editing, thumbnail, title, uploading, optimization, analytics, all that kind of stuff. Why does he care about optimizing and analytics? Why? Why?
I think it goes back to those two B's, that benchmark and
Fudge!
the baseline.
That's an A. You got an A, Jemmy. That's right. So you guys will see, I leave all the clues for you. The reason why optimizing analytics matters is because, oh, Chris, don't you want a result that we can measure over time and improve?